Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen once again here to MaxSpeedTV. Tonight, or again, this afternoon, we will get that right eventually. This afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon here Central Time, we have another great race in store for you here at Richmond Raceway, or I don't know, Speedway, whatever it is. I don't even know what I think it's Richmond Raceway. Again, they got a brand new logo, RR, so it is Richmond Raceway. But today is a special race. We do have a sponsor on the board for this race. This is the Yep 100 presented by Jason Deere. Jason Deere, just a individual jumping on board to sponsor this race. He's actually going to be in this race as well, as he is sitting there in the 45 in that Budweiser Chevrolet Silverado here tonight. But before we get to all of that racing action, we want to go through all the sponsors here on MaxSpeedTV that make all of this possible for us to be here, starting with Walls Beard Co. They are not only general sponsor here, they are also the starting grid sponsor, so make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com for all their great beard products. SimSpeedShop.com. Make sure you check these guys out. They have some great button boxes and some brakes there. Some little e-brakes for you rallycross racers. Make sure you check them out at SimSpeedShop.com. HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair. Make sure you check these guys as well. If you are looking to get a website up for your league, whatever it happens to be, if you tell them you heard about it here on MaxSpeedTV, you can get 1 month free and they'll waive your fees to get started there to get that website going. Elite7Racing.com. They are the official dirt team of MaxSpeedTV, so make sure you check them out as well. And last but not least, here on the MaxSpeedTV side of things, Ohio IndyCar League. They are not only a sponsor here, they are also a league that we broadcast. Just got their first race done. Josh Medlock covering that racing action just yesterday, actually, so you can check them out at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. On the racing side of things, of course, we do have two sponsors that make all of this possible. The title sponsor, of course, is T&D Rustic Decor. Big shout out for them coming on board. Great sponsor here for this series. They cover both this series and the Monday night series, which will be here tomorrow night. And last but not least is TJ Woodworking. Their slogan is, "Our limitation is your imagination." They have some great woodworking products. All plaques here for this series and the Monday night series are provided by TJ Woodworking. You can also give them a call, of course, at 515-979-0415, and definitely be looking for Tony to take care of you and all your woodworking needs. But that will do it for all the sponsors. So without further ado, we want to get our other broadcaster that is here in the booth with us. That is Josh Medlock here. So first off, welcome to the booth, and as always, how are you doing here today, Josh?
Well, I am doing just fine here this evening, Charles. Glad to be back with you for some short track action here for the T&D short track series. Or here at Richmond here, a little bit bigger of a short track, but it's still, on the other hand, a short track. So expect these guys to do a little bit more bumping and banging here, as it is wider. So expect some 2-wide action here this evening.
Yeah, and it's a little different. It is a short track here. As we're sitting here on our scenic cam, you can literally see the entire track nearly here on the camera. So that just shows you, it's not a very big track. It's very small, but this whole series is the short track series. So that's all they run is some short track series stuff, short tracks. That's kind of the theme of this league, No Excuse to Sim series, is short tracks. They're trying to bring these trucks back to how they were in their glory days, back when it was about beating and banging and racing. It wasn't about aerodynamics or how clean you had to race. I mean, you want to race clean, but it's more about getting that where you can actually bump doors with each other and scrape the wall a little bit, and it's not going to hinder your aerodynamics of the truck.
Exactly. And, I believe this is only the second race this season here. So, still points on the line. And, of course, as always, going to be some hard fought racing here as, the straights here on Richmond they're not flat per se. I think there is a little bit of banking. I haven't really raced much at Richmond, so don't know really much about it. But as usual, 100 laps here tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of the points standings, we will go through that real quickly as we're getting those to you. But to pull up your point standings here, we normally have 20 drivers. Only 12 drivers made the trip last week, so we got about 12 here this week. I believe just about everyone that made the trip last week has made it this week. It's not the biggest car count, but we have several leagues that don't necessarily have a huge car count, but it doesn't matter when you have these smaller tracks. Points are it just doesn't matter. You still get a lot of good racing. As last week's winner, Joshua Drinkwater, is the point leader right now, but he's only got a 2-point lead over Scott Page, who actually won the Super Sport Series race on Monday night. So your top 9 people right now are only separated by single-digit points as Trey Galgon just pulls in. So there's another 13th driver here tonight.
Yeah, and as we look down through the points here, I didn't know if you were going to go through them or me, but I guess I will. Joshua Drinkwater will actually come home victorious last week for you guys. Of course, that will put him first in the points, as that is just one race down with 42 points. Scott Page has the momentum coming in tonight with that win Monday night here at Richmond. So be looking for a Scott Page here, as he is in this race, folks. He does have 40 points, only 2 points behind the leader. Brett Day will be coming in tied with a third with Aaron Baspero with 39 points. He is both of those gentlemen are 3 behind the leader here. Rachel Hunt in the 5th spot with 37 points, 5 behind the leader. Trey Galgon in 6th, 36.6 behind Jake Forster. Tied with Ed Sauls in 7th with 34 points. Both of those gentlemen are 8 behind. And Chuck Kemper is in the 10th spot, or the 9th spot in points, with 33 points. He is 9 behind. Running out the 10th in points, Doug Pickering with 31 points. He is 11 behind the leader there.
Yeah, and it's so tight right now with the point standings. A lot of these guys only 1 point behind the person in front of them. Some of them tied. It's going to make it real interesting as we're looking at just about, I believe, everybody that is in the point standings was here last week, so everybody making it back. Brett Osborne missing this week. He did miss last week as well. So that is unfortunate, but he's out racing a real race car, so you can't fault him for missing a virtual world race. But again, everyone that was here last week here this week, so that's going to keep those point standings even tighter here, as we have about 8 minutes left to go. To pull up the pre-race analysts here, we didn't get to do any laps as far as fuel and tire goes. So they do run 50% fuel, so they will have to pit multiple times. I'm not sure what their window is going to be. I didn't get a good test on that, but 100 laps, 80 miles. I believe pit road is 45 miles an hour. I did not get to test that, so we threw that in there. But regardless of the pit road speed or anything like that, you don't want to get caught speeding on pit road. But it's going to be very difficult here. The track's not as hot as it could be, only 91 degrees. But 100 laps at 91 degrees, those tires are going to wear, and it's going to make it interesting to see how many cautions we have, or if we have any cautions.
Well, I do expect a few cautions here tonight, as, short tracks does make for a few at least. You was talking about a pit road speed here. The pit road speed is 40 miles an hour, so you were 5 miles off. No big deal. But, hey, that does play a big deal when you get caught with a black flag coming down pit road. So 40 miles per hour down pit road, these trucks are going to have to get it down to 40 when they cross that cone at the beginning of pit road, or, they'll get caught speeding there. And then track temperature, like you were saying, is around the 90-degree mark. So it is a rather warm, but not warm enough to really cause a slick, per se, conditions. But, of course, when the tires wear, they will be sliding around. Of course, gas will be an issue, too. When the fuel runs lower, the back end will start to slide. Track length is only 3/4 of a mile long, so very short indeed.
Yeah, it is, and it looks like Sahil Mustak is going to come in here, so he'll make a 14 driver, so 2 more drivers this week than we had last week. But one that we want to keep an eye on is we'll jump over to him real fast here, go to a little bit lower camera if we can. That is the 41. He's not on the track right now. He will be shortly, I'm sure. That is Aaron Maspero. You know, he had his winning streak snapped last week as Drinkwater did get the win, but those guys are teammates. I'm pretty sure they're teammates anyway. If they're not, they do work together. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he can get back into that groove of winning as he finished off season 1 very strong, but just had not the race he really wanted per se last week. But I expect to see him bounce back pretty good here in this race.
Yes, I mean, Aaron Maspero finished off season 1 on a winning streak. I believe he finished it out with 5 in a row. It might have been 6, but I believe it was 5. But, man, he was a dominating performance in season 1 for this series here. It was amazing the way he just come out at the end and just, pretty much dominated the races. We're going to have to see if Aaron Maspero in that 41 machine can make a dominating run coming into tonight here at Richmond.
Yeah, and another one to keep an eye on, Chuck Kemper in the 41. We'll see if we can get a little bit closer to him. He's talked about all week how that truck has just not handled the way he wanted throughout practice on Friday night. Just, talked horrible to his truck. That truck probably doesn't feel too good right now, but with good reason. It just has not been handling the way he wants it to, but right now he's second fastest, so maybe he's found something here in this 20-minute practice we had before the race. Again, that's what it's there for these guys to get in the last-minute practice in, and he may have possibly found something.
Yeah, Chuck Kemper pulling off a good time here in practice. I'm looking here, and his best lap is a 25.21, and the last lap he pulled was a 21.835, of course, being an open set. You've got to really understand what it's going to take to, long green flag run, maybe a short green flag run. What do you do under cautions? All that will play into effect on these races, as the TND Short Track Series is an open set.
It is, and sitting in third place, another one to keep an eye on who's stopping on the track, Ed Sauls. He had a very good run Monday night. Late race incident with Brett Osborne caused him to be not out of the race, but towards the back of the field. He didn't get the finish that it looked like he was going to have. Dominated that race. So hopefully he is out of that little slump he was in, just not having the best of luck lately. But it looks like that little maybe sophomore slump or something has passed him, and he is in contention here. He's sitting third here in practice, so be looking to see if he can redeem that and possibly get a win here tonight.
Yes, sir. Of course, this is short track racing. It's pretty much anybody's race here, as well as, of course, super speedways. To me, super speedways, you're in a pack, still everybody's race. Short track's about the same way because it's so short. And, of course, as we all know, if the leaders get out front, you can get a lap down relatively quick on short tracks.
You really can, and we'll find that out here. Who's going to go a lap down, if anybody is, here in about 2 minutes. That's about what we have left here in practice. Before we get to qualifying, they have 5 minutes, 2 laps. So, they don't have a lot of time to get out there. They have technically plenty of time to run 2 laps, but some of these guys like to wait till the end here, see what everybody's going to put in as time-wise. And, they may determine, okay, this guy did that. And it's a strategy game. See what your competition does. How much tape did they run? You can kind of guess if they taped it up for qualifying or not, and determine how much tape you want to put on going into qualifying, because that will determine where you're going to start here in the race. And you want to start as close to the front as possible. So if you kind of guess, okay, they put about 70% tape, I'm going to put about 75% tape, and it'll give you that little bit more downforce, and it could get you closer to the front. You also have that risk, if you put too much tape, you could blow up before your 2 laps is over.
Exactly on that. We were talking about it earlier before the lobby opened about a tape. And, people think like, well, what's the tape going to do? The tape is just there up front. I mean, it doesn't do anything. Well, actually, it does. It plays a big role on not only your trucks here, but your Cup cars, your Xfinity cars. That tape can play either a good role or a bad role, depending on the track conditions, what track you're at, stuff of that nature. So, yeah, tape will play a big factor here to see who puts what type of tape and how much for their qualifying run.
Yeah, and with these open sets, what they have to remember, too, is, and I can promise you, if we could interview Chuck Kemper, and he probably still has this tape to his monitor, check tape. They have to put this and remind themselves in their head. You tape it up for qualifying. You put, some of these guys put up to 80-90% tape on there. After qualifying's done, make sure you take it off. You can't run that in a race. And if you do, we have seen people in Season 1 and even 2017 Season 4 where they forgot to take it off, and 4 laps into a race, all of a sudden you get a caution, somebody's blown up, and you talk to them in the interview and find out they put too much tape, they forgot to take it off for the race from qualifying, and their night's done.
Yep, check the tape indeed. Now qualifying is underway. We'll be here momentarily.
We will be indeed. 5 minutes on the clock. When we get to about a minute 50, we'll get to the national anthem. As at that point, everyone probably should have been out on the track, but we're going to drop down to the track here as we'll pull up our driver bar and qualifying times. 14 drivers here tonight. Jake Forster, one of the first ones out on the track. He is a new one, only his second race with this league. So we'll definitely be looking to see how he stacks up here today.
Yeah, exactly. And, of course, the first one that did come out on the track, or that I seen come out on the track, was the number 40 of Chuck Kemper. And that snap-on MSTV machine representing snap-on and, of course, MaxSpeedTV here. So, right now, Chuck Kemper, though, does have the pole here with a 24.53. 2 laps, folks, in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they don't have much time. He's also got TJ Woodworking and T&D Rustic Decor on that truck on the side of it. If you get a good look at the back bumper there, you can also see he is sporting a Sasquatch in the back of that car. So that was something he put in there for giggles for everybody behind him. As Trey Galgon is going to take the pole now. He's somebody that you are very familiar with. Just ran a 20.417.
Yeah, I am very familiar with Trey Galgon there and that number 49 machine. So, seeing Trey up here up front right now has the pole. Of course, there are several that still have yet to put in a time. So, being familiar with a Trey Galgon here, I know how Trey races, and I know how aggressive he can be. He can be aggressive to a point to where he's not going to wreck you on purpose, but he will fight for the win here, and he will make you get the win. He's just not going to give it to you. So we'll have to see how this race plays out in 100 laps to see if Trey can keep it up front and keep everybody else behind him.
Yeah, he's definitely going to do it. Dominic Lee has a white background, so we'll get to that. We can't see all of his information, but he is currently 4th fastest with a 20.5. Again, a couple of drivers running 24.4s. Ed Saul's out on the track. He's 6th fastest right now with a 20.6. as it looks like everybody but Brian Jones and Sahil Mustang have run times here with about 2:15 left to go. So we're just right there, ready almost to get to the national anthem here in just a few seconds. So we'll follow along here with Sahil for a minute. As soon as he puts in an official time, we'll get over to the national anthem.
That 18 machine of Sahil Mustang has pulled out on the track. Of course, he is doing his lap here. Golly!
Top of the charts, 20.348. We knew he'd be a competition here. He's a fast driver, and he showed it there. But he's going to pull it off. He's done. No need in going out for another lap. That will do it. 1:30 left. We're going to get to the national anthem, and we will be right back with your Walls Beard Co. starting grid.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we are back here with your starting grid. We'll go ahead and get through that because we don't have a whole lot of time. These tracks are so short. Josh will start us off here with your Walls Beard Co. starting grid.
Now, yeah, the grid will be presented by Walls Beard Co. here. Sahil Mustang grabbing the pole here with the 23.48. Congratulations to Sahil for grabbing the pole. Trey Galgon will be starting on the outside of him in the second spot. Chuck Kemper in the third spot. Jake Forster in a fourth. Dominic Lee in fifth. And Doug Pickering will start in the sixth place. Charles.
And row 4 will be Ed Sauls. Again, we kind of hoping he will bounce back here, having a pretty good qualifying time. On his outside, someone we've seen in victory lane quite a bit is the 41 of Aaron Maspero. We'll check in with him throughout the race. Row 5 is going to be Rachel Hunt in the 16 and the 00 of Scott Page. Row 6 is going to be Jason Deere, your sponsor for today's race. We definitely want to see him move through the field. And Caleb Weekly, this is his last race with the series till Season 3. Schooling is getting in the way, so he is going to be away for some time. Not by his choice, just has to do life things and do school. So he will not be here after this race until Season 3. In row 7 is going to be Landon Heidi and Brian Jones. And that will actually do it here for the grid. There's nobody else behind him. 7 rows of drivers, 14 to be total. So we're just a lap away from getting the green flag.
Yes, we are. And Sahil Mustang going to lead them to the line for the green flag start here momentarily. They will get their standard 2 laps of pacing here for a short track. Trey Galgon going to be starting in that number 49 Snickers machine on the outside of him. Actually, it's a Snickers M&M's machine. Notice he has M&M on the back of that. So that Chevy Silverado sporting 2 candies. One of them is my favorite, so that would be the Snickers. And then Rachel Hunt right whoa, this is all wrong here. Wow. Well, Rachel Hunt, though, going to be starting up back here in the 9th position. But back up front, Sahil Mustak will be leading them to the green flag here, folks.
You will indeed, and the pace car is going to dive off kind of in the middle of 3 and 4, a little bit different. So that's going to be a factor here in tonight's race, I'm sure.
Yes, it will. Pace car dives in, folks. Here we go. Get ready, buckle up, grab your drinks, and get ready. Buckety, buckety, buckety. Let's go short track racing, boys.
And the green flag is out. Sahil Mustak out front for the moment, but now Trey Calgon's going to try to take it up the middle. As they were trying to go 3 wide for a split second, but it didn't work out. They're all going to settle back in. But Trey Calgon takes the lead here, and he is out front with a pretty sizable lead. So you go back here to Sahil Mustak, Jake Forster, and Chuck Kemper all battling for 2nd position right now. And Chuck Kemper's really trying to give them a run for their money as he's currently sitting in 4th position.
Yes, he is, and right now it looks like he is battling onto the inside of that number 42 of Jake Forster. That did put Jake Forster back here into the 4th spot. Chuck Kemper in that number 40 machine goes into 3rd.
He does indeed, and you know, just while we're getting started here, guys, to look out for is somebody in the back was getting a little squirmy real fast. That was the 87 of Landon Heidi. He was wiggling that truck back and forth, but he did keep it going the right direction. But 5th place and 6th place, Doug Pickering and Aaron Maspero, they're right there together, 5th and 6th. Those two are teammates, and I look to see them work together just a little bit, as it looks like Aaron Maspero is trying to pick off his teammate of Doug Pickering, and he'll do it pretty easy there to take 5th place from him. So Aaron Maspero started further back, but he's on his way to the front.
Yes, he is, and I am setting back here currently into the 10th position, and that 81 of Ed Sauls. Ed Sauls got, sorry about that. Ed Sauls got a little bit loose around that last lap, got below that yellow line going into the corner, but no, you know, he didn't get it spun sideways. He kept it straight. So it's one thing you don't want to do is get caught below that yellow line there going around the corner. It will definitely upset that truck.
It really will, and everyone's really kind of spread out here until you get up to the front here, as you have a battle going on. Sahil Mustak and Jake Forster. Those two really starting to duke it out, as well as Aaron Maspero, who's actually going to get by Chuck Kemper on the outside, no less. So, you know, those guys are really starting to battle it up. But Chuck Kemper going to fall back 2 spots, as Jake Forster and Aaron Maspero are going to get by him. And it looks like Dominic Lee, a brand new driver to the series, is looking to try to get by him as well.
Yeah, Dominic Lee in that number 99 machine did pass the number 40 of Chuck Kemper there. Now Doug Pickering in that number 17 machine is right there with those two gentlemen battling up. But going back into the field even further, we have a, you know, kind of a battle back here going on between the number 12 of Caleb Weekly, currently 9th, and that 87 of Landon Heidi. They're battling out back here. Of course, the 00 of Scott Page kind of right up in front. A little banging going on there between the 12 and the 87.
Yeah, and that's the whole point to this series. We don't encourage people to, you know, just slam into each other, but they do encourage them to beat and bang a little bit. You know, little rubbing is racing. That's the whole point of close quarter, short track racing. As right now, everyone's really spread out, especially in the back. Trey Calgon, though, what a lead he has right now. I don't know how long he's going to keep it. Sahil Mustak is catching him in a hurry. Again, he started second. He's in first. And your leader, your second place car was your leader. He started first, and he's about to try to reclaim it from Trey if he can possibly get by him at the line. I believe it's going to be, I believe it's still Trey.
Yeah, I cannot see exactly on the driver bar if Sahil led that lap, but Trey Galgon, I do believe, got it because he does lead 11 laps here so far, but Sahil Mustak does have the lead in that number 18 machine.
He does indeed, and there, no question about that one, he will lead that lap, so Sahil Mustak has led one lap here. Again, started first, fell back right off the start. Very interesting as that truck just all of a sudden just didn't work or something. Trey Galgon got a huge jump, but it doesn't matter. Now Sahil is out front running 21.116 to Trey Galgon's 21.179. So not very far off, but look at the last time of Aaron Maspero, 21.0. And Jake Forster, 21.0. So, as Aaron Maspero will get by Trey, possibly, they're actually running faster times than your leader.
Yes, they are. And going back here on that number 42 machine of Jake Forster has put his nose up here with that 49 of Trey Galgon and the 41 of Aaron Maspero. You know, they may be battling hard up here. Of course, they know it's, 100 laps. We're only on a lap number 16. Of course, if they cross the line, we'll be coming to 17 here momentarily. And once the hill got up here, it was pretty much over. Now Aaron Maspero in that 41 will make the pass on the 49 of Trey Galgon. And Trey will go back here into third, now battling it side by side with the 42 of Jake Forster.
Yeah, and so kind of the battle of the 40s going on in here. We got the 41, the 42, and the 49. So I believe that all we need is the 45 of Jason Deere up there, and we would have every 40 in there. Chuck Kemper and also a 40, but he's not quite in that group, but he is back in 5th place, leading a group here of him, Dominic Lee in the 99, and of course Doug Pickering in the 17th. So that's another little group there that's battling. So they've kind of separated themselves out into little bitty groups. As you go a little bit further back here, you'll see Jason Deere, Scott Page, Landon Heide, and Rachel Hunt in the next little group here of 4. So just little groups all over the place battling with each other.
Yes, you are. You've got these groups together, and of course you've got the drivers out here kind of by themselves. Brian Jones in that number 21 machine currently in the 8th spot, started 14th. So he's up several spots here, but he's kind of by himself. Nobody really around him. The car behind him, though, of Jason Deere is about, I would say about 2 seconds, roughly, behind him. So, such a short track, that's still not a big gap.
Yeah, it's really not. And Jason Deere may catch him. Drafting isn't really a factor here, but you get 4 cars in a row, they will cut the air a little bit easier than the one. So they could possibly run him down with just what little bit of draft there is here. It's not a lot, but with any form of racing, if you get several cars in a row, they will go a little bit faster. You don't have as much here because you don't have the long straightaways, and everyone brakes a little bit different, but it could play a factor. I seriously doubt it will, but they could run him down. We'll just have to kind of wait and see if they can or not. Based on the last lap, 22.042 to a 21.9, I would venture to guess they probably will catch him eventually.
Yes, we do, and we have our first taker coming down a pit road here. It looks like he might have some damage on that number 87 machine of Landon Heide. So he is coming down a pit road, going to slide into his pit box there and assess the situation. He did use the reset, so something happened with Landon Heide in the 87 machine, but he did come down here and get it fixed with the reset, and he is back out on to the track here momentarily.
Yeah, and note, we watched him during that pit stop there. He only took left side tires. He did not take right side tires. So maybe that was a bit of an offset as he was only on pit road for 8.9 seconds. He will go 2 laps down, though, so it didn't really matter. He may have already been a lap down anyway. Wasn't checking in that, but speaking of laps down, Ed Sauls currently 1 lap down, and Caleb Weekly making his last race of the series, unfortunately, here. He will be back, though, once he gets done with school here, but he's got to take care of real-life stuff before he can race. So making his last race, currently 1 lap down in 13th. So hopefully he can get that lap back and gain a few spots.
I am looking at that number 12 of Caleb Weekly right now, kind of battling it side by side. A little door bang in there between him and the number 49 machine of, see who that is, the 49.
That's your buddy Trey.
Yeah, Trey Galgon there. And the number 12 gets into the wall of Caleb Weekly. Caleb does have some damage on that right side there of that truck, and it may be affecting the handling a little bit.
Yeah, you come out of these turns so powerful that, you know, you can get into that outside wall pretty hard and not spin it out, but still cause a lot of damage, and that may be what happened to him. You know, just getting a little hot and scraping the wall and causing that little bit of damage, because it is on the right front is where all his damage is. As we'll actually look there, yeah, you can see a lot of damage to the side of that truck and the front of it. So he has gotten into the wall several times here in that number 12 machine.
Now, there is no incident limit, so, you know, you can do some banging here. You don't want to bang it up too bad, but no incident limit, folks. So, you know, you can have 100 X's, but as long as your car can run and get out there on the track, I mean, it is what it is. Of course, one reset, as we did see, you know, Landon use it earlier. So I'm sure Landon is going to take it very easily, knowing he only has he has used his reset. So, you know, he's going to have to kind of back it off a little bit.
Yeah, and he is backing off. He's letting these leaders by. He's not going to race them too hard. He knows he's a lap down, so there's no need to battle them. But out front still, with lap 31 of 100, is Sahil Mustak. He has got a nice, pretty clean truck, and he's trying to take that thing to victory lane.
Yes, he is, and I don't know exactly how many laps he has led here. I can't even see it, but maybe you can figure that out.
I am not sure either, to be honest. You know, we'll address that with the league afterwards. We'll get that wide background change. But the only other person to lead, I'm not 100% sure. Aaron Maspero has not led any. He's back in second place right now. I'm surprised he hasn't caught him yet. Trey Galgon led 11 laps, so that would be venturing to guess here that Sahil Mustak has led quite a few laps. As we look here at the laps led, we've only had one lead change, so Trey Galgon has led 11, so that would put the difference that Sahil has led about 22 laps.
Yeah, that's about right. It sure is.
He's led 22 so far in this race. 34 we're on lap 34. We've completed 33 laps. Again, I'm shocked really that Aaron Maspero has not been able to catch up with Sahil. But Sahil, man, what a run for him. He came out of the gate swinging with the qualifying lap. Something happened. He fell back to about 5th. And then all of a sudden put it back in gear and worked his way up, and he's out front, and he really hasn't looked back, as he's now trying to put down a lap, the 16 of Rachel Hunt, who is fighting to stay on the lead lap right now.
And that number 16 is fighting on that lead lap here, because she is the last one on the lead lap. Brian Jones is right up in front of her into the 8th spot. And we do have a battle up here, or a little bit of a battle between Chuck Kemper in that 40 and that number 99 machine of Dominic Lee. Dominic Lee will get around Chuck Kemper there to go in to the 6th spot. But Chuck Kemper right behind him in that 40.
Yeah, and neither one of them want to give up a spot. It's be interesting to see here, you know, in practice, these guys run a lot of laps on Friday night. But I don't know who actually sat here and ran, or if anyone ran 100 laps. You know, these setups, there was a lot of complaining going on with good reason. These trucks were not handling the way anybody wanted them to in practice. They're not happy with the setup. So the question is, did anybody actually get a 100-lap run in to see what a long run would be like? as it looks like Landon Heidi has made his pit stop, but now Jason Deers have made his pit stop. Scott Page made a pit stop as well, and Ed Sauls, both of them coming out of pit road right now on the apron as they're going to go a couple of laps down on pit road. But pit stops are starting to be made here. So we're just talking about the long run. They're dividing this run up here just about the halfway point.
Halfway will be 50 laps of the 100 here tonight at Richmond for the T&D Rustic Decor Short Track Series.
Not to cut you off, Ed Sauls going around in the 81, and that will bring out the first caution all by himself. I didn't mean to cut you off, but the first caution coming out of the night on lap 42.
Well, it is what it is. Of course, we see Ed Sauls here in that 81 as I'm going back to look at it, not to, be the bunch here, but it looked like he was coming off of pit road in that 81, and he was fine for the most part. Oh, him and the 45 get into it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. He looked like he came down onto the 41. He had plenty of room, just came down onto the 41 there out of nowhere. Maybe he just didn't realize he was right there when he was arcing into the corner, but just came down and slammed into the 45 of Jason Deere and ended up spinning himself around. Very interesting there as we're watching right now the 18 of Sahil Mustak. It looked like he just had to back up in his pit stall, so missed his pit stall just a little bit, had to back up. We'll see if that loses him the lead once they come off pit road, as everybody's on pit road right now.
Everybody coming down and getting the tires and the fuel needed. I do believe that they will probably have to make at least another pit stop as Chuck Kemper rest in a piece green cone at the end of pit road. He just smacked the green cone and just launched it off on the track.
That is interesting, and now you see everybody else coming down pit road there. Another 5 cars. Those are the lap cars, so they're going to have to come down a little bit later, but they are laps down, so that is normal for that. One we want to mention, Brian Jones right now, so we'll take a look here. He's on pit road at the moment. We'll pull up his driver bar for him real fast. He didn't lead a lap. I thought he was going to. He actually stayed out after the rest of the leaders pitted. I'm not sure if he may have officially went a lap down, but he was being shown at the leader there for a minute. But he did not lead a lap, so it may have been a little bit of a glitch. As he is currently on the lead lap, though, so he is back in this thing. Rachel Hunt's the first one to lap down.
Well, talking about the lady and a gentlemen's out here that are racing, the group that is a lap down will be fighting for that lucky dog position. Of course, Rachel Hunt, the only one that's 1 lap down. Landon Heidi is 2 laps down. So Rachel Hunt would be the lucky dog.
Yeah, she would, and it'd be interesting to see if she can get that lap back. We've had 1 caution, as we'll pull it up real fast. 1 caution for 4 laps, going to be 5 before we get the green flag. Lights are still on. Looks like we are going to get the green flag just about the halfway point. We'll get the green flag back. Currently 55 laps to go right there as they cross the line. Lights are also, we will start lap 47 once we get it, but keep it in mind if you take a look here, Doug Pickering on pit road. Him and Trey Galgon both making last-minute pit stops, wondering maybe if they're thinking they can possibly pit here and make it to the end of the race.
Oh, that's going to cut it close, I am sure. But, hey, different strategies for a short track racing.
It is indeed. Different strategies sometimes can win you the race. Sometimes they can cost you dearly, but we'll see. Those two may be on a different strategy as there it is. The pace car is diving off once again. And green flag is out. We're racing here for the second time. And hopefully we won't have any more cautions. We'll duke it out till the end. But right now, Sahil Mustak is battling for his life right now with Jake Forster. As it looks like Jake was going to try to make a run for it, but just has kind of fallen off. But he's going to try to make another run on the outside and see if he can't get by Sahil Mustak for the lead.
Yes, he is. And I'm going back through the field here a ways to try to check on some of these other drivers back here on this restart. And we have a few battles going on here between, of course, these are the vehicles that are a lap down. Landon Heidi in that 87 fighting it side by side with Aaron Maspero, who is on the lead lap. So, you know, people trying to get their laps back any way possible that they can. We see that number 12 machine there of Caleb Weekly kind of get a little close to that 41, but no harm, no foul. But this race is by far over with. We're going to see some more banging here, I'm sure, momentarily.
Yeah, and I just want to update with Doug Pickering in the 17. Just to get a note on him, he may not be pitted. As you look, he's got some serious damage to the front of that truck. As there goes Landon Heidi going around, and he's going to be off the racing surface. We'll see if it brings out a caution. I don't think it's going to. We'll see if he can get it turned around pretty quickly. He does get it going the right direction, but he's got some serious damage. No caution is going to come out, though. But that car or truck is pretty heavily damaged, as he is currently sitting in 11th right now. He started 13th, so still ahead of where he finished, but the leaders are coming ready to put him another lap, or another lap down. He's 2 laps down right now.
Yeah, and Landon Heidi is still trying to get control of that truck as he is into the wall again, trying to keep it high to let these leaders go by. I am sure those tires are very, very upset with him right now, as he is right next to the wall onto the front stretch here, and he's doing everything he can to keep that thing straight.
He is indeed, and we're staying with him. He's got all these leaders coming by him now. He doesn't want to wreck them. He's a very clean, very good driver. As you see Aaron Maspero wiggling it behind him in the 41. He's on the lead lap, though, right now, I believe. He is currently sitting in 5th place, so even your leader's getting a little squirmy here, as, again, that is very scary for the 87 of Landon Heidi. Somehow not bringing out a caution, though, but that truck is pretty messed up, so he is probably hoping for a caution to come out, but he does not want to be the caution.
Exactly, and of course now the battle between the number 40 of Chuck Kemper and the 41 of Aaron Maspero. Aaron Maspero going to get around Chuck onto the inside, but that 40 truck of Chuck Kemper looking to make a possible pass. Couldn't do it right there in a turn number 3 coming out of 4 onto the front stretch here. But I expect Chuck maybe later on in the race to kind of make a move on Aaron. But right now up front, though, Sahil Mustak still leading here with Jake Forster right on his tail in that number 42 machine.
Yeah, Jake's this is his second race. He started this season for season 2. And he's proven already that he definitely is going to be someone to look out for here in the racing, or in the series, as he's currently sitting 2nd. Dominic Lee, another new driver from Ohio, he's putting on a good run here in 3rd place, so he'll be somebody to look out for. As I'm not sure, Jake may try to make a lead change here in a little bit. He hasn't quite done it yet. He may try to bide his time and find the perfect time to do so. But he is definitely right there ready to pounce if Sahil does make a mistake. So far, he has not done so, other than that little bit of mistake on pit road, but didn't cost him anything. And to check in with Landon Heidi one more time, he's got that truck still going in the right direction. But now he's about to be passed by Rachel Hunt. But that is not for a position. Landon Heidi 3 laps down. Rachel Hunt is the first car a lap down. And actually, correction, she is the only one that is only 1 lap down, as it looks like contact was made between Landon Heidi and Doug Pickering back there in the back.
Yeah, there is some bumping and some banging going on between the lapped cars and the, the lead lap cars, but it's short track racing. You really can't help it. It is encouraged, but it's not encouraged to a point that you're going to wreck somebody, like you was saying earlier.
Yeah, beating and banging, that's part of racing. Wrecking is not, however. So they will definitely frown upon that. But none of that's been going on here. This is just good old, somewhat clean, I guess you could call it. Bumping and banging. You know, these cars aren't going to be clean, but, you know, it's clean bumps, clean side bumps, whatever you want to call it. They're bumping doors, bumping fenders. That's all part of what this is about. It's just having some good racing, and they're doing it right now. The only two I think are probably 100% clean are those front two right now, as they've kind of checked out from the rest of this field. Right now they have a over 2-second lead over Aaron Rispero in third place.
Yeah, the top two, Sahil Mustak and Jake Forster. Aaron Rispero in third. Dominic Lee in the fourth spot here in that number 99 machine, kind of by himself here. He's got Chuck Kemper and Trey Galgon in that number 49 machine right there. Now, Trey is on the back bumper almost of Chuck Kemper in that number 40. So, these two are going to probably duke it out here for that fifth spot here. So, right now, Chuck is in the top 5. Still going down through the field here. Brian Jones in 7th. Doug Pickering in 8th. Rachel Hunt in 9th. And Caleb Weekly will round out the top 10.
Indeed, and it looked like Trey Galgon is going to get by Chuck Kemper for a 5th position. So now let's sit here. We'll go in the roll bar here, Cam, here with Chuck Kemper. As you see, he's trying to run down the 49 of Trey Galgon, just not able to quite get up to him. And then we'll go switch over to Brian Jones here on board. He's got a huge gap if he wants to get up to Chuck Kemper in 6th. They have a gap of 3.2 seconds, so quite a bit of a gap there. We'll just have to kind of wait and see if he can catch up to him. Just not sure if he's going to be able to. But we're keeping an eye on the 41 of Aaron Rispero, 2.066 seconds behind the leader right now, and we'll see in the next time by if that does increase, and it does, 2.133. So your front two are really pulling away from everybody in this field, and here shortly they'll probably be starting to put some more guys a lap down.
Yes, they are. And, you know, speaking of which, the third person in the third spot here started 8th. Aaron Rispero. You know, the race is by far from over with for Aaron, or really any of these ladies and gentlemen out here, because, you know, we still have about 31 laps here to go. I expect maybe one more caution. If it happens, it'll be probably a self-spin, because I've noticed a lot of these trucks getting loose off of turn 2 going on to the backstretch.
Yeah, it is probably, like you said, going to be a self-spin. If anything does happen, as we'll look a little further back here, we have the 49 and the 99. That's a battle for 4th position. Dominic Lee trying to get by Trey Galgon. That's probably the closest battle we have for position anyway, as those two are really trying to duke it out here. But it looks like maybe Dominic Lee has fallen off just a little bit. He's going to have to regroup and try it again if he wants to get by Trey.
Probably saving some tires. Dominic Lee probably not wanting to use up his tires right now because it's still relatively early. Of course, the laps will fly by as they make their way on to as Sahil makes his way around turn number 3 into 4, coming to the front stretch here.
Yeah, it's be interesting. One I want to keep an eye on here. He's 3 laps down. Scott Page, not his best run, but he did have a good run. He won the race in the Monday night series, but just struggling a little bit here, back in 11th, so he's not at the very back, but he would love to gain a few more spots, as he's battling right now with the 87 of Lady Heidi, and that is for position. Both of them are 3 laps down, as he's going to take that position away.
That will move Scott Page into the 11th spot here. Yes, that is for position. Both of these gentlemen are on the same lap, as well as Caleb Weekly. He is also 3 laps down as well. So, you know, if Caleb, Scott, and Landon can get up together, you know, that will be a battle for the position here. We said earlier, Rachel Hunt, the only one that is 1 lap down. So if a caution was to wave, Rachel would get the wave around. That would be done by iRacing itself, and that would put her on the lead lap.
Yeah, and she would definitely love to get back on that lead lap and make a bid. She's probably one of the toughest drivers we know here to come here. Uses a VR headset on top of that. So very cool to see her here racing. We've actually seen her improve so much since the very first season she came here. She'd even tell you she used to let people buy a little bit easier than she should have, and she admitted that. She hasn't got aggressive, but she has gotten a little less easy of letting people buy, you might say. She doesn't just pull over and let them buy anymore. She actually battles them as Brian Jones gets into the wall in front of her. So she gives them a run for the money. She does not just stand by and let these guys buy her like she used to.
Yes, sir. I mean, and I did the same thing when I first joined iRacing. I was new to it. You know, I just wanted to get my feet wet a little bit, and I would just let people pass. I didn't want to battle them. I wanted to learn how to race. And that's what you got to do, folks. Practice, practice, practice. Seat time, seat time, seat time. The more time you get on the simulator here, the better you're going to be. And, you know, you will be able to battle it up with some of the best drivers out there on iRacing.
You really will. That's all it takes is practice. It makes perfect. But we have a little bit of a break here in the action. We don't have a whole lot of battling going on here. So that being said, real fast, we want to remind everyone, of course, of all the sponsors that make all this possible, including WallsBeardCodes.com, SimSpeedShop.com, HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair, Elite7Racing.com, Ohio IndyCar League, and of course you can't leave out T&D Rustic Decor, the title sponsor of this series, as well as TJ Woodworking. A big shout out to them for coming on board as the official award sponsor for this series. But that being said, you know, make sure if you are new here as well, hit that subscribe button, and if you like the racing here so far, hit that thumbs up button. It looked like there for a minute our leader almost scraped the wall, Sahil Mustang, but he does stay clear. But Jake Forster has kind of fallen off from the leader, as now he's got a 1.5, almost 1.6 second gap to the leader of Sahil Mustang.
Yeah, keeping an eye on Jake Forster here, getting a little squirrely in that number 42 machine. Did keep it straight there, but you know, a 1.7 seconds behind the leader of Sahil Mustang, and with 17 to go, is there enough laps for Jake Forster to get up there and battle it up with Sahil, or is Sahil gonna? Oh, and Sahil gets into the wall there.
Oh, that is not what he wanted to see here with 17 laps to go. As that didn't hurt him too much. He's still gaining time on second place. But you cannot get into the wall. You couldn't do it earlier, and you definitely can't do it now. As we're watching the leader, he's got 3 cars coming up as it looks like somebody got into the walls. A caution's going to come out, and I believe it's going to be... not sure who it is.
Landon Heidi and the number 87, I do believe.
Landon Heidi, let's go back and take a look. Here it is, Landon Heidi going around. Let's go back a little bit further as we missed some of that. We'll see exactly what happened to him as we're watching here from our main camera. Something happened to spin him around. Not sure if he had contact or not. He just got by the 99 and just gets it loose all by himself. Spins it out into the wall and just can't keep it going. And right there brings out the caution. So that is unfortunate, but that's the second caution for him here tonight. That truck is pretty torn up, so that's just unfortunate for him.
As I called it earlier, it will probably be a self-spin around a turn number 2.
Yeah, and where it was indeed. as Sahil Mustak coming down pit road. Everybody's going to be coming in behind him to get some fresh tires. You can see right there, everybody on pit road. Remind everyone once again, you are watching the Yep 100 presented by Jason Deere. Individual who sponsored this race is actually in the race right now, sitting in 12th place, who just made a pit stop. Interesting enough, we do have some drivers that did not make pit stops. Brian Jones, your race leader, being one of those. He has 43 laps on him, but he's coming down to pit road now. The question is, did he lead a lap? He did not officially lead a lap. So he did stay out, but he was on the lead lap, so I'm not sure if he intended to stay out and lead a lap, but he did not officially lead it.
Yeah, I think Brian Jones wanted to lead a lap, but, you know, he knows that everybody around him will have the fresher tires and the fuel to probably go and finish this race, I'm sure, with 13 to go. And, you know, now Brian Jones will be pushed all the way back into the 9th spot here. But, you know, he will have the same tires and fuel as everybody else will. So watch Brian Jones and, you know, kind of see what he does.
Now, and one we want to keep an eye on, she's on pit road right now. She's coming out of pit road. Of course, gives it away with that is Rachel Hunt. She's back on the lead lap now, back in 9th position.
Now, that's all she needed was that caution to get her back onto the lead lap. Now, Caleb Weekly did get one of his laps back. He is currently now only 2 laps down. So, I believe everybody might have got at least 1 lap back.
Yeah, we do have some guys that opted to stay in front of the leader. They're still in front of it. Landon Heidi is one of those. He is in front of the leader, as well as, I'm not sure who that is in front. The 12, I believe, of Kayla Weekly in front of the pace car in the lead, or in front of the leader, I should say. So they will get a wave around here in a minute. Landon Heidi is actually falling back now. He's going to take to the back of the field. So not getting a wave around there. He is actually just going to fall to the back as everyone is going to pass him. But back up front, the 12 of Caleb Weekly should get a wave around here, and well, there it is right there. We're getting the wave around to be put only 1 lap or 2 laps down, as he's going to get one of his 3 back.
Well, they will get the green flag with 10 to go here for the TND Short Track Series at Richmond. Going to be a shootout to the finish here, Charles. What do you think?
This could get interesting as we're looking here. We've had 2 cautions for 10 laps out of the 100. It's going to be 10 to go when we get the green flag. So a 10-lap shootout with 10 laps of caution. So we'll have officially 90 laps under green flag racing if it goes green. And I have a feeling we probably won't see another caution. As there it is. Once again, a green flag is back out. And everyone kind of getting a good start there. Nobody really jumping to a huge lead. The question is, will we stay green the rest of this race?
That will be the key, as we see Aaron Maspero there get a little bit squirrely there, going around, or starting to go around the corner, coming out of the corner there. Now is being pushed back into the 3rd spot as that 42 of Jake Forster does make the move on him. But Aaron Maspero up here to, you know, try to pull out the victory here to start his win streak back. As we know from last season, he pulled away 5 victories in a row, I believe it is, Charles. So, you know, Aaron Maspero, he is going to fight strong and hard up here, currently sitting in 3rd.
He is indeed. Trey Galgon up to 4th now in that Snickers M&M's number 49 Chevrolet. He's going to try to pull out a top 3 finish if he can. Right behind him, Dominic Lee, another new driver, and Doug Pickering 6th, Chuck Kemper 7th, Brian Jones 8th, and Rachel Hunt in 9th. And those are all your cars on the lead lap as the caution's out.
Scott Page, 00.
And that's unfortunate. It doesn't look like he has a ton of damage. Let's go back and take a look. And already spun around there. Let's go back here another 20 seconds or so, see if we can find out what happened. And we'll see here. You were calling him earlier self-spins, and it looks like he was by himself. And there it is again, just a self-spin all by himself. Nobody else involved. Very little damage to the back of that truck. That will bring out the third caution of the night here with 7 laps to go. You know what that means. We will go racing again.
Yeah, they will get the green flag, and I believe probably a 2 to 3 lap shootout here, maybe 4 depending on when the pace car lights go off. But it will be a shootout to the finish here. I'm going to be watching that number 41 of Aaron Maspero there. Of course, we can't forget anybody up here probably in the top, well, really the top 6. As we seen last week, a caution came out right at the end there, and a guy, I don't remember who that was, but actually won the race with a blown motor.
That would be the one that just Scott Page that won it on Monday night due to a late race incident. Had the back of that car smoking, but did indeed win it with a broken car.
Some situations you just got to do what you got to do.
That is true, and a little bit of a connection issue there for us. Do apologize. It is back up and running, though, so that is good. Just a huge frames drop there. Not sure what was going on. We are back here. So 5 laps to go right now. The lights are still on here. So this could get very interesting to see what happens here. Race controls probably tell them, take it easy, don't do anything crazy, as we'll keep an eye on the pace car right now. Again, lights are on. We'll see if they go out this time by or not. If doesn't, we're still trying to get this thing back up and running, folks. Not sure what's going on, but we're trying to get it all sorted out. Looks like should be good to go as the green flag does come back out racing once again. Not sure what was going on there, but looked like a YouTube issue. Hopefully we are back here. 2 laps to go as we got a car going around the 49 of Trey Galgon. Caution comes out, and that will end the race.
I'm going to have to go back and take a look and see what happened to Trey here.
Let's go back here. We'll see exactly what happened to him. Looks like some stacking up was going on and just got around there. They were really stacked up there. That was the last restart of the race. So just everyone trying to get to the front. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, it looks like the 17 of Doug Pickering might have got into the back of him. Of course, they were still wrecking, back there. Somebody else got into the wall. That would have been the number 40 of Chuck Kemper. And somebody's motor is blown as well. I'm going to try and catch and see who that is. That was that was Chuck Kemper in that number 40.
Yeah, that is unfortunate as he is back. Stopped on, there he is. Somebody was stopped on the track. Trey Galgon stopped. Caleb Weekly out of the race. They're still being scored in 8th and 10th, but Chuck Kemper all the way back in 9th place right now. That engine is smoking really bad. That will do it for the race. Do apologize for the connection issue there. Restarted OBS, so it was either an OBS or a YouTube issue, but it is sorted out now, so we do apologize for that. But we did get the last bit of the race in there. We're going to step away, get to the post-race show. We will be back here in just a minute or so with your post-race show, your top 3 interviews, race results, and of course a big shout out to all the sponsors. So give us just a minute and we'll be right back. All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen. We're post-race show. Again, we have our top 3 drivers here with us in the booth. Starting with third place, we have the 99 of Dominic Lee. First off, welcome to the booth. This is your first time here. I believe you didn't start last week, if I'm correct. So this is your first race with the league. So you come in here for your first race of the season and of the league, period. You finished third. How does it feel to get a top 3 podium finish?
Oh, it feels great, man. I had nothing for them top 4 or 5 guys there. I was about a 5th to 6th place car the whole night, but there on that last restart, things just fell my way right there, and third place is awesome. I'm ecstatic.
Well, they say cautions breed cautions. We didn't have any for the first half of the race nearly, and then there at the end we had a few creep in on us. But it seemed like that last caution, like you said, definitely benefited you greatly. You said you had about a 4th or 5th place car, so you finished ahead of where you thought you probably should have. So that's always good. With everything being so close in the points, that'll probably put you somewhere, unfortunately, towards the back of the points because this is your first race and we had one last week. But, people will miss races here and there, so you're definitely going to be able to make some ground up. We have still, I believe, 8 more races here in the season. So overall, it was a good race for you. You finished in a solid third place position, so we'll see where it stacks you up and all that in the points. If that being said, are you looking forward to next week?
I am. I'm not that big of a setup maker. I haven't made a lot of setups since I've joined iRacing, but I'm definitely looking forward to practicing this week and trying to figure out how to get a little faster and run with them top 2 or 3 guys.
Well, definitely, we look forward to seeing you here in the racing in this league, and hopefully we'll see you in the booth here again. But before we get to second place, any sponsors or just anyone you want to give a shout out to for that third place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank Brett Denovi, Autism Speech, Jimmy John's, U.S. Air Force, Hickory Harvest Foods, Robert Owen Trucking, Wawa, Forward Bite, and a huge shout out to my teammate Jesse Pierce. He's watching the stream. He's been an awesome teammate since we joined, and I just gotta say thank you to him a lot.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the third place finish. And it looks like Josh has cut it with our second and first place driver. So, Josh, we will hand it over to you.
All righty. Jake Forster, you got a copy, bud.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Jake, man, you come in to tonight actually tied in the points with Ed Sauls for the 7th spot with 34 points. You'll lead a lap here tonight at Richmond to get a bonus points and everything. You came out, finished in second. Of course, it did end under caution. Talk about what it took throughout that whole race, man, because being an open set, you had to play with it a little bit, I'm sure.
Yeah, I made a couple of adjustments. Really, the adjustments I put in the car hurt it more than anything. But yeah, I was pretty much setting myself up to be a second, maybe third place car there. So he was on fire tonight. No touching him, but just gonna let the race play out there and see what happened between me and Aaron. But we got those late cautions and it got a bit racy.
Yeah, it did get a bit racy at that. Of course, the first caution came after, I believe it was the halfway of the race. Of course, cautions breed cautions, unfortunately. 4 cautions here tonight at Richmond. Going back to the track of, next week y'all will be at a Myrtle Beach Speedway there. Are you familiar with Myrtle Beach?
I ran one super late race in it. It's quite an interesting track. The whole layout of it, if I remember, it's got kind of like a little dog leg or a little kink in it somewhere. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to the short and flatter tracks.
All right, Jake. Well, man, congratulations on a second place here tonight for the TND short track series. Is there anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to for second place?
Yeah, just shout out to the guys hanging around with Sahil, Aaron, Matt. Sorry, Doug. Yeah, just thank you for having me.
All righty, Jake. Well, we will see you next week, hopefully at Myrtle Beach, bud.
Yeah, see you next week.
Uh-huh. Alrighty, well, that will bring us to the winner here tonight. Sahil Mustak, do you have a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Sahil, man, you come in to tonight, not in the point standings, but this will surely bump you up here, in the points. You dominated the race once you got the lead, man. Talk about the racing, and you never look back.
Oh, first of all, I just want to apologize to the whole field because that last restart was all on me. I think, I don't know, it was like I was trying to either jump it and then I realized that I should be going on green in the series or something, but I just, I completely screwed it up and it cost a lot of people behind me. So I just want to apologize to everyone in the field there. But overall, the race, yeah, it was that first stint where we went 40 laps green. I did not expect to pull it away from Aaron, which was nice to see. But then the next two shorter stints that were broken up by cautions was a bit tougher. Watching Jake in the mirror, he was trying to attack and I couldn't get my rhythm back. It's nice to still come away with the win.
Talk about the battles there at the beginning of the race. I mean, it was on, at the first stint of the race. Y'all were just battling it out up front like it was the last lap. Was the tire wear pretty bad after y'all did make y'all's first pit stop?
It definitely got tighter. I'm not sure if it was tire wear or the track had just gotten so slick. I definitely had to start making changes after that, the first stop, because it was pushing a lot more.
Well, all right, Sahil. Well, you will come home with the victory here tonight. Is there anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to for the victory here?
Oh, just you guys for putting the races on as always, and Jake, Doug, and Aaron as well for making the setups. I haven't had much time to practice this week, so really fast setup they built.
All right, Sahil. Well, we will see you hopefully next week at Myrtle Beach. You got anything for Myrtle Beach real quick?
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it, but never raced in it, right?
Exactly.
All right, Sahil. Well, hopefully we will see you next week. Charles, that'll bring us to you, bud.
All right. Well, moving on to your unofficial race results, again, barring any race controls issues they have to take care of. Again, coming away with the win is going to be the 18 of Sahil Mustak. In a second is going to be the 42 of Jake Forrester. And third is going to be the 99 of Dominic Lee. Fourth place will go to the 41 of Aaron Maspero. And in fifth place, the 17 of Doug Pickering. Sixth place will go to the number 16 of Rachel Hunt. Seventh will go to the 21 of Brian Jones. Eighth place will go to the 49 of Trey Calgon. Ninth place will go to the 40 of Chuck Kemper. And rounding out your top 10 here tonight will be the number 12 of Caleb Weekly. The first one lap down. Rounding out beyond that, 11th place will go to Jason Deere in the 45. 12th place, the 00 of Scott Page. 13th will go to the 81 of Ed Sauls. And rounding out the fields here tonight in 14th will be the 87 of Landon Heidi. That will do it for your race results here tonight. As always, we want to thank all the sponsors that make all this possible, starting with MaxSpeedTV, WallsBeardCo.com. Make sure you check them out for some great organic beard products. SimSpeedShop.com if you're looking for a button box or a e-brake for your rallycross racing. Make sure you check them out for some great products. HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair. Make sure you check these guys out. Let them know you heard about it here on MaxSpeedTV. You'll get 1 month free for your web hosting for your league website or whatever it is that you need a website for. And definitely they will also waive all of those fees to get started. Elite7Racing.com. Again, Elite7 Racing is the official dirt team of MaxSpeedTV. And last but not least, on the MaxSpeedTV side of things, that is Ohio IndyCar League. Again, check them out at Facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. Not only are they a sponsor here for 2018, they are also a league that we broadcast. Josh Medlock covers that. He just got done racing broadcasting that race last night. So make sure you go to the YouTube page here for MaxSpeedTV and check that out. And on the racing side of things, T&D Rustic Decor, they are the title sponsor for this series and the Monday Night Supersport Series. They have been here for several seasons now. Starting in last year, they came on board. So make sure you go check them out on Facebook. Just look up T&D Rustic Decor. And, of course, TJ Woodworking. Their limitation is your imagination. They are the official award sponsor for our plaques. So if you're needing any woodworking done, plaques for your league, whatever it happens to be, make sure you give them a call. You can also check them out on their Facebook page, or just give them a call at 515-979-0415. They have some great wood products. They can custom make just about anything for you. So make sure, again, you check them out and ask for Tony. That will do it for the sponsors. Any last minute stuff here? Final words you want to say, Josh, before we sign off for the night?
Well, the second race of the season is done for the T&D Rustic Decor Series, the short track series here. Of course, tune in to next week, same time, same place. We will be at Myrtle Beach. Really looking forward to that because that's a different track as well in itself.
It is indeed. Will be some great racing there. Again, make sure you tune in tonight as well. We still have some racing going on here tonight. We still have the SRA Truck Series coming on at 6:30 Central. And I think yes, we do. We also have Race Score at 7:10 Central. We going live for that, so make sure you tune in for both of those great races. We have a ton of good racing coming on this week, including the T&D Supersport Series, the Northwest Xfinity Series, Upper Edge Racing. We have an Upstate Racing special event coming up this week as well. And I believe, actually, later tonight, Upstate Racing will be covered by KR, so stay tuned for that. One of our newest and definitely a great broadcaster. He'll be tuning in for that to do their season finale for Upstate Racing League for their 360 sprints, I believe it is. A lot of good racing here, but as always, on behalf of MaxSpeedTV and the T&D RusticDecor.com short track series, have a nice rest of your afternoon here, and we'll see you at the next race later tonight.